Leverage means that I can give an input, and for every action, there is a bigger reaction or a bigger output.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you as always for joining me. Today's episode, I want to make this the leverage episode because I'm assuming that the majority of you that are listening to this podcast or watching me on YouTube, you want to be able to make more income. You want to have more impact. You want to do it in less of your time so that you can use your time to enjoy other things in life besides trying to earn a living, right? Well, I think one of the biggest things that I had to start to ask myself is, how do I pull that off? And the way that you pull that off is through leveraging whatever it is that you're doing. And so let's kind of talk about what leverage means. Leverage means that I can give an input, and for every action, there is a bigger reaction or a bigger output. Like, that's what leverage is. So how is it that I do all the different parts of making a business run or providing value to the world and do it in a leveraged way so that I could spend more time doing other things in life, being with my kids, being with my wife, taking care of myself, enhancing myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. All right. So let's talk about how you leverage. In 2006, it was the first time that I had, I guess, one of my first of many breakdowns. Okay. All right. And so at this point, I'm working at my practice, Renewal Rehab. I'm working 6 days a week. On Saturdays, I would work from 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, I would basically work somewhere like 7 a.m. to like 8 p.m., right? I'm super tired at this point. I remember coming home on a Saturday, and our yard looked like the jungle, okay? And we had a notice that was given to us from our homeowners association saying, Gregory and Kiwanis Todd, you need to basically clean up your yard, and if you don't, we're going to have to fine you. And so I had promised my wife that Saturday after I finished work, I would take care of the yard. So I got home from work around 2:45, had to do my notes, this and that, and got home, actually probably closer to 3:30 I got home. I finished at 2:45, got home around 3:30, and I remember pulling out the lawnmower. The yard looks absolutely ridiculous. And I remember going outside and just yanking the lawnmower, and the thing wouldn't start. Dang, man, this thing won't start. Then I did it again. And sorry, I sound like a dog, but you get the point, all right? I was trying to get my lawnmower to start. It wouldn't start. I opened up the cap, looked in, and there was hardly any gas. So I'm like, gosh, it's just a gas problem. All right, so maybe I just need to go get some more gas and get this thing to start. So I went to a Shell gas station. It was about 7 minutes from my house. And when I came back from the gas station, I poured the gas inside the lawnmower, primed it again, did it, the thing wouldn't start, and then it started pouring. Started pouring rain. I'm exhausted. It was another 70-hour week. I can't get my lawnmower to start. They're going to kick me out my neighborhood. I'm just so tired. And it was at that point where I realized that I'm not leveraging myself. I actually broke down. I broke down while it was raining. I started crying. I was bawling. And I went to my front door. I rang the doorbell. And my wife looked at me, and she sees that I am drenched. And she looks at my eyes, and she can see they're so red. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Babe, can I hire somebody to do the lawn, please?" And she was like, I know she was like, "God, you're pitiful." She's like, "Yes, you can." And so that day, I realized this. I was like, this is stupid for me to do the lawn, because I know that I could hire somebody for $80 to do my lawn every single week for a month. That Saturday evening, I actually hired someone. And I knew that even with the skills that I had as a therapist, I knew that there was a lady that I knew that if I worked on her for an hour privately, she would pay me $80. So I knew that in 1 hour, I can do what the lawn people are going to do in 4 hours of doing the lawn. And you know what? I am, with regard to doing the lawn, I suck at it, but I'm good at working on people with my physical therapy skills. All right. It's a long story to tell you that that was the first time that I can truly say that I leveraged my abilities. Okay. I figured out what could I do with minimum input that would give me maximum output. In this case, minimum input is an hour worth of working on a patient. Maximum output was $80 that she was going to give me. Made a lot more sense than the input of an hour each Saturday to try to do the lawn when my lawnmower wouldn't work, or maybe the owner operator, me, didn't know how to work it. So that was when I started to leverage. And ever since then, I've been figuring out, how do I leverage the different parts of my business? So here's what I want to talk about. There are 4 different parts of your business that makes the business work so that the business can take off. You must market first. Marketing is the art and science of discovering and developing in people a desire for more and more of your product, service, or your opportunity. The question is, how are you marketing? Can I tell you the unleveraged way? The unleveraged way of marketing, at least how I did it back in 2005-06 when I started my business, was me going door to door, office to office, business to business, and showing up there to them, talking about my service, my products, and my opportunities. That was unleveraged way of marketing. Can I tell you what a leveraged way of marketing is? Using this, my phone, doing this podcast, using Instagram stories, going on TikTok. That's leverage way. You know what I'm doing? I'm talking about how I can help you, how I can bring you value, but I'm not doing this driving from door to door to every single gym, every single doctor, every single business. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going on my phone and I am doing a one-to-many way of delivering value to people. Can I tell you another leverage way? Another leverage way is me getting on somebody else's stage. A stage is somebody else's Instagram Live. A stage is somebody else's Facebook Live. A stage is getting on a podcast. A stage is actually speaking at an event. A stage is doing a workshop for another company where I'm bringing value and I'm showing people what it is that I have that can bring them value so that they have more of a desire for my product, my service, and my opportunity. That's leveraged. Okay, what's the next thing that you have to do with regards to getting leads? Remember I said marketing first, then get leads, then get sales, then get service. So let's talk about how you leverage leads. You want to know what I used to do? What I used to do is if I would go to a doctor's office, I would take out my Palm Pilot. Back then I had a Palm Pilot. And I would go to my phone, and if somebody gave me their number, I would put it inside my phone and say, all right, let's stay in touch. And I would type in the number, and I would forget to put in their name. And would I stay in touch with them? Nope, I wouldn't. So I was doing all that marketing, but I didn't have a back-end process that was staying in touch with the leads. So an unleveraged way of doing that is me taking my phone, and let's just say I did put in their name and their number, that every single week I'm going to say, hey, remember me? Hey, remember when we met at the Chamber of Commerce? Hey, you remember when we met at Rotary Club? Hey, you remember when we met at the farmer's market? That was an unleveraged way. It was me reaching out to my leads, people that were interested in me, one-to-one over and over and over again. And because I didn't leverage it and I wasn't consistent, people just assumed that this person forgot about me and I forgot about them. You want to know a leverage way to do it? A leverage way to do it is that now when I do get in contact with people, I put them inside of the software. My software is SS8C campaign software. Okay, that's a software that we use that every single person, just like how I have my phone, I have an app, and that app, when I bring somebody in, I add them as a contact, it automatically reaches out to them on my behalf. It reaches out to them in 6 days, reaches out to them 5 days later, reaches out to them 5 days after that, reaches out to them 7 days after that. It automatically does it so that I can continue the relationship. That's called leveraged. Now, here's a leverage way for sales. A leverage way for sales is instead of me waiting for a potential patient to come into my office, what I am doing now is instead of me talking to that one person and getting them to see the value in what I have so that they pay me money, because that's what sales is, uncovering the value of what you have so well that people are willing to pay you money for the value that you're going to give them in exchange. I used to do that one-to-one. So I can only get one sale at a time. Want to know what I do today? Today, I do one-to-many sales where I am giving lots of value to a lot of people at one time. And then those people that are like, I want to get more value from you, I'm giving them the opportunity to work with me after I do the event. That event could be a webinar. That event could be a challenge. That event could be a workshop. It could be a live event. It could be a virtual event. These are all ways that you leverage what it is that you do so that what it used to take you a year to do, you can do it in 6 months. What it used to take you 6 months to do, you can do it in 2 to 3 months. What it used to take you 2 to 3 months to do, you can do it in a month. And when you do that, you are now leveraging yourself. And then the final way is how to leverage with service. So the majority of times when I am working with customers, I'm not working with them one-on-one. I'm working with customers one-to-many, but I do it in an individualized manner. So I've created a community of people that are very comfortable with one another. And I make sure that in the community, they're comfortable talking about the highs, the lows, and everything. And then what happens is that I basically will do a group value call. I will basically help people in a group setting, and I help the people individually if they have questions. And as I'm helping that person individually, all the other people that are there are getting value from it. Some people don't have the confidence to ask the question, but that's the question that needed to be asked. And in all of those different ways that I just showed you guys, that's how you leverage your business. And until you leverage your business, you will never be able to collapse time. Whatever money you're making right now, a year, that's what you always make a year. Unless you get lucky and you get a 1%, 2%, 3% raise. That's basically what happened to me in my career. Or you can say, all right, how do I leverage everything that I'm doing? And when you leverage, you're able to say, hey, what I'm doing right now in 12 months, how do I do that in 6? What I'm doing in 6 months, how do I do that in 3? What I'm doing in 3 months, how do I do that in 1? And that's you leveraging all the different parts of business. So here's what I want to ask you. Are you leveraging everything in your business? Maybe I should even ask you this first. Do you want more time back? Do you want to get more time back and not sacrifice money? Or even better, do you want to get more time back and amplify the amount of money that you're making and the amount of impact that you're having? Well, ask yourself these 4 questions. How are you leveraging your marketing? How are you making your marketing one-to-many with you getting out to people? How are you leveraging your leads? How are you communicating and connecting with more than one person at a time? How are you leveraging your sales? How are you uncovering the value that you have so well that people are happy to pay you money? But I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about people. And how are you leveraging your customers? How are you serving all your customers, but you're not serving one customer at a time? That is the key to you all being able to get your time back. Figure out how you can leverage. So listen, if this episode was valuable to you, please, can you do me a favor? Can you share this episode out? Can you like this if you're listening on YouTube? And can you guys tell other people about the Secrets for Success podcast? I really like it if you guys can give us 5-star reviews as well. We are climbing up the leaderboard in Spotify and on Apple iTunes podcasts, and I really would love for you guys to be able to help us out. Love you guys. Till next time.